Education and the School District of Holmen acknowledge that our schools are located on the ancestral homelands of the Ho-Chunk, Sauk and Fox, and Dakota peoples. We celebrate and honor these lands and their sacred sacrifice to Indigenous peoples. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Board Clerk Maggie Smith, would you please call the roll?
Kevin Zilke.
Here.
Jennifer Deek.
Here.
Khadijah Islam.
Here.
Chris Lau.
Here.
Lindsay Mead.
Here.
Maggie Smith here. Bridget Todd Robbins.
Here.
Barb Wunsch.
Here.
All right, with 7 of the 7 board members present, I declare a quorum. I note that the agenda has been posted, distributed, and sent to the local media. With this in mind, are there any changes to this agenda? I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as published.
So moved.
Chris has moved.
Second.
Maggie has second to approve the agenda as published. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the agenda as published, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion to approve the published agenda has passed. And we do not have any public participation this evening. So moving on to recognition and thank yous. Dr. Mueller.
Yeah, this is one of mine, and I know the school board's favorite evenings of the year. Tonight we get to share our Friends of Education. Each year, we ask our schools to nominate someone who has made a positive contribution to the education of its students in the School District of Holmen. Criteria that we consider include things such as time commitment, assistance in school, out of school activities, advancement in educational programs for our students, and basically it's just anything that really helps to make a difference in our students' lives. And this evening we are excited to celebrate and honor our Friends of Education for each of our individual schools. So how we'll do this is we'll ask each of the building principals to come up, and then they'll invite you up and say a few words. And then after that, we're going to have a little picture with you. And then once we're done with all of our Friends of Education, we're going to get a picture of all of our Friends of Education together. And then after that, you're welcome to stay in for the meeting, or you can, if you have other plans, as some of you I know do, you can go on to those. So with that, we would like to start with Mr. Sackett with our Holmen High School Friend of Education. Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Check. There we go. Good evening, everyone. My name's Wayne Sackett. I'm the principal at Holmen High School. And first, I'd like to congratulate all of our honorees tonight for your friendship and all the great things that you do for our schools and community. I'm honored to present the Holmen High School Friend of Education this year, which is Shannon Schneider, for her outstanding contributions and unwavering support for our students and staff. Shannon's genuine concern and for the well-being of our students, combined with her collaborative spirit, has fostered a strong sense of community within our building and our programs. From the treats she brings into school, to our athletic programs, to her tireless efforts with so many other parents, sponsoring and fundraising for our senior send-off after graduation. On behalf of Holmen High School, I'd like to thank Shannon and her family, because it really is a family endeavor, and I'd like to thank her for humbly modeling her servant leadership and her attitude in all of Holmen High School these past years. Thank you, Shannon. You are a friend of education.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right, ready? 1, 2, and 3. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good evening. I am Ryan Vogler. I'm the principal at the middle school. And at this time, I would like to invite Barb and the other members of the Historical Society, please come up here with me. So tonight, Holmen Middle School is recognizing Barb Johnson and the Holmen Area Historical Society as our 2024 Friend of Education. They have helped Holmen Middle School preserve many of the amazing stories and history of our building that has changed many times over the years. As we were embarking on the construction and the renovation project, the Holmen Historical Society graciously offered to preserve many different documents, photos, and other pieces of our HMS history. Along with this, they provided some amazing historical photos and other materials for our HMS open house for families and community members to come back to HMS and celebrate the memories they had in our building. The photos and the other materials were definitely the talk of that night. Along with their amazing contributions to preserving our HMS history, the Holmen Area Historical Society has been a huge supporter of our HMS National History Day. And most recently, they made a very generous donation to help our HMS students attend the National History Day competition in Maryland. So on behalf of Holmen Middle School, I would like to say thank you very much to you all as our 2024 Friend of Education.
That's what I mean.
Accepting on behalf of the Holmen Area Historical Society.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, the VP, there we go.
All right. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. I am Sarah Thompson, and I am the principal at Evergreen Elementary. At this time, I would like to welcome up Nick and Christy Skellinger, please. Being new, I was worried I wasn't going to have an opportunity to work or to get to know this year's recipient of our award, but when I was informed of who it was, I said, oh, I got this one for sure. I will say this, I've been fortunate enough to work with the Skellinger family for 5 to 6 years now. Nick was one of my daughter's soccer coach, and I was able to work with Christy as well too. And I'll say this, the information that came through in the nomination form holds true tonight as it did 5 to 6 years ago. Nick and Christy are always there and the first to volunteer to donate supplies for a classroom, including, but not limited to, snacks for kids that don't have them, classroom supplies that I'm short on, or even offering to donate money for other students to use on field trips. They never miss an opportunity to celebrate the school staff in every role by giving gift cards to show their appreciation for teachers, the lunchroom team, the SEL team principals, EAs, and the related arts teachers. They go above and beyond to make a difference in our school. They are always supportive and genuinely care about our kids, teachers, and the Evergreen community as a whole. How lucky are we to have many more years of the Skellinger family in our school. We would like to honor Nick and Christy as Evergreen's 2024 Friend of Education.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Perfect, thanks.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nick Weber, and I'm fortunate to be the principal at Prairie View Elementary. Could Hillary Dummer and Andrea Noddings please come up front? These two, along with Robin Niederkorn, are our 2024 Friends of Education. Congratulations. This year at Prairie View, we're going to talk a lot about ripples and the ripple effect and how actions and words and even what we might think is a little act has such an infinite impact on others, ripples on others. And when I think of this team of 3, wow, do they have ripples and impacts that they don't even know yet, not just on reading, but on so many social, emotional things and needs in our building. Their spirit of volunteerism shines through our building, and that's clear with all of our staff. I'd just like to read a quote from the people who nominated you. Andrea, Hillary, and Robin, they are exceptional reading tutors, and I mean exceptional reading tutors, but they do so much more than just teach and tutor reading. They go above and beyond and bring so much love to all their students, and I mean all their students all the time. I'm so proud of these 3, and I get the privilege of seeing them in action and seeing that love in action. Each and every day they do volunteer and work in our buildings. So I sincerely thank you for everything you do, and I'm very thrilled that they're back again this year to tutor. So thank you. If this was a room full of students and they're used to attending assemblies, we would do a Prairie View power clap on 3. So let's give them one of those. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
All right, 1, 2, and 3. Perfect, thanks.
Hi, I'm Matt Myers. I'm the principal at Sand Lake Elementary, and I'm fortunate enough to be joined by Carla Lang, and we're also also recognizing Joan Choder. She's not able to be here tonight as our Friends of Education. Joan and Carla have served the PTG at Sand Lake for an extended period of time through challenging pandemic-related circumstances. Joan and Carla were always willing to support staff and students, spent a great deal of time at our school, and along with some integral school staff, they continued to ensure the success of Sand Lake's PTG. Among their biggest accomplishments are significant investments in the Sand Lake recess equipment and materials, the purchase of new bike racks, and innumerable contributions that ensured that students could participate in different field trips. Most recently, Joan and Carla selflessly led a transition to a new PTG board and had many pieces in place to ensure the transition was seamless. And while oftentimes Joan and Carla worked behind the scenes, we wanted to ensure that their work was honored as the Friends of Education this year. Thank you, Joan and Carla.
Good evening. I'm Nina Swanson, principal at Viking Elementary. Jessica could not be with us tonight, but I couldn't not nominate her. Jessica Grohl has been an amazing part of Viking. She had her youngest daughter just go through Viking, so I keep telling her she can come back and volunteer anytime, but she's been just a leader on our PTO. She does every Chuck E. Cheese night, which if you've been to Chuck E. Cheese with hundreds of kids, she deserves an award just for that. But she always is helping out students and staff, and we'll just really miss her at Viking. So we want to congratulate her. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Sue Eitland. I am the Early Childhood and 4K principal, and I am honored to be here tonight with our friend of education, Judy Thompson. Judy has someone in the Early Childhood 4K program who's very special to her, and it just so happens to be a staff member, Vanessa Jagum. And I think Judy's work with us is definitely a family effort. We're glad to have the family here with us tonight, and we'll have you guys all come up and join us for the picture. So the Holmen Public Preschool Program would like to nominate Judy as our friend of education. She stepped up to volunteer her time at the end of the school year to help with all of our organization and packing of the numerous materials and the supplies in early childhood. Not sure if you've ever been working with young kids or not, but all of our materials are manipulatives, so we have a lot of stuff. So we needed Judy's help, and she was ready and excited to come in and help us out. We appreciate her commitment to ensuring that staff could attend to students while keeping safety a priority. Due to Judy's assistance, our staff was able to complete their regular year-end tasks as well as work together to get everything out of our classrooms so that the building remodel work could begin as scheduled. So the Early Childhood and 4K team truly appreciated all of Judy's support. We thank her for her hard work, her kindness, and her generosity. This is Judy Thompson. She is our friend of education.
Oh my gosh.
I forgot to mention that. You may have seen on Travis's Facebook post that Vanessa's girls, and I'll let them introduce themselves so I don't mix them up, and Vanessa and her husband Andrew all participated in, Vanessa, you say it so I don't get it wrong.
The National Badger State, or not Badger State, I'm sorry, that was the state meet. The National State Games of America track meet.
Yeah, and they were out in San Diego, California to do that and did very well. So thank you. And I guess we'll do the picture.
1, 2, 3, say cheese. Got it.
Oh, it's just so cute.
Then we'll have all the parents of education come up. We'll do that one over. We're gonna have you all line up right in this.
The group one, everybody. No, I know.
We do it on there, yeah.
Because I look nice on the top and I'm wearing like workout leggings. So the one I'm probably the shortest. And there's enough people up there already.
True.
Got me a couple more right in this two here.
There's one in the back hiding. I see her. Front. Yeah. Good try.
Perfect. Everybody's head, just find a window. I can see everybody. Can everyone see me? Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations.
So, also, as we're finishing up with that, I just want to take a moment to celebrate Travis Udell, our communication specialist also. He has, we've received 2 awards of merit from his work that he's done for the school district with a video on the power of project search and the Holmen High School Fine Arts Department. So thank you once again for your great work, Travis, and our national recognition. So thank you.
All right, moving on to reports and discussion. Item 8.1, Dr. Mueller and the school principals will present the construction update.
Principals are, yep. Go ahead. Yeah. And I know the principals have this under control, so they're going to give us an update this evening about our construction and where that's at each of their buildings. And this is reflective from our 2022 referendum.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. As a team, we just wanted to make sure that we started out appropriately thanking everyone for the opportunity to be able to have these projects happening in our schools. Overall, we want to make sure that we start out by thanking our community for the support in the referendum in order for these projects to take place. We work in an amazing community where they work so hard to collaborate with us, and we really appreciate their support in order for us to offer these changes and make these great updates to our buildings. We'd also like to thank you, our board, for allowing us that same opportunity, for guiding us through that process to work with the community to go to referendum in order for this to be approved. Our staff have been so amazing and flexible in all of our buildings with these changes. And whether it be the staff that works in the summer, our clerical staff, our custodians, those who are doing summer school, they really needed to be flexible and work with us. And everybody's had such a growth mindset about this. And so as principals, we can't say thank you enough for that. And finally then, just our construction workers. Again, working in a school setting where we're still trying to, run business as much as usual as possible. They continue to come to us and ask, how can we do this in order for you to be able to do what you need to do in your building? And so just overall, we as a principal team would like to say thank you to everyone that I've talked about and many, many more that have been involved in order to make this possible. So thank you. At Holmen Middle School, we have been under a little bit of construction and renovation this summer. If you have driven by, you will see that the 6th grade wing of our building has been torn down. It was exciting to see that come down, but also, a lot of memories that were in that end of the building. And so it is very exciting to see that area being cleared and now to see the new construction happening. So this is just a picture of when that began and how they strategically took that end of the building down while preserving those areas of the buildings that we will still need. This is just another view of after that was cleared and working to get the footings and some of that basic structure in order for us to begin building up when that new renovation begins to take place. This is the last view then overall, seeing that south end of the building that has been completely cleared and is ready for new construction to begin. Inside, in that upper area of 6th grade, we're calling it Area A for the renovation. It's kind of exciting. These past 2 weeks, we've seen the ceiling grid, new flooring, paint, and lighting going into that area of the building. And so it's been just great to see the cement areas that were torn down transformed into that new area. And every day it's getting more and more ready for our students to come back in 2 weeks. An area that I know is much needed, but I have to be honest, I have very, very little understanding of, is the area of HVAC and the other internal workings that are happening in the building. But it has been pretty cool to see some of these rooms transformed and the old equipment come out and this new equipment going in. And so I am very excited, along with our staff, for the more consistent temperature and airflow that comes along with these projects. And then finally, this is the area of our LMC and also one of the bathroom updates as they prepare our LMC to not be the new LMC, but an area that is accessible for our students to still be gathering books and reading throughout the year as we prepare for our new library to be up and running. And once again, this just shows our student services area that will be newly relocated to the center of our building, and the new spaces with the flooring and paint and everything going into that area. And just one more of the cabinetry and all of that that's going in. Sorry. And then these are just our videos. Over the summer, we've been doing student videos where we've had students working with Brad Hudson, our construction superintendent, in order to update the community on what has been happening from a student's perspective. And so they've been fun videos to see our students taking part in order to update our community and staff about what's taking place.
All right, and some really exciting changes at Viking. So soon I can just kind of talk about those. This is our brand new parking lot. They kind of just flip-flop sides, so you can see that the playground's in the middle, And then now our families will enter on Robert Street there, and they will do pickup and drop off in that lane. They laid this during the hottest week of the summer, but they were an awesome crew out there. So I just want to echo what Ryan said. They just have been working really hard. And we have the playground is pretty much all set up. We got to have open house last week, or sorry, of our registration, and the kids are all excited. Their only question though is where's the Foursquare going to be? And that's going to be on the opposite, not quite painted down yet. Next here, which is exciting, we have a sprinkler system. So that is right when you walk in the door. That'll be shut there, but that took some time, but that's exciting to have at Viking. And then this hallway doesn't even look the same now. That was about the last week in July. That was the first floor, but now it has some yellow and some flooring and some lighting. So making some really good progress there. The upstairs to the left is going to be our STEM lab. It's just a really beautiful space. It's really large. It has lots of sinks and countertops. That will be really neat for our teachers to utilize this year. And then some cubbies being installed, and then a classroom. Upstairs, the windows just got put in, which is exciting. A lot of the teachers are just excited to have nice big windows up there. The next one's just a drone look, so you can kind of get a better view of the playground and everything that's going to be able to offer. And you can see kind of in the back there's going to be room for 2 Gaga ball pits, like right behind there. And then just still kind of laying the groundwork to get the basketball hoops on the opposite side. This is a really nice classroom upstairs. So you can see the new cabinetry, new flooring. Everything is essentially new in our new classroom, so it's really exciting. The only thing is holding back the teachers from coming into their rooms. If you've ever met a kindergarten teacher, they want to be in their rooms 3 weeks ago, so we're just telling them to hold off and letting our community know that it won't be ready, but we welcome them in. Their classrooms might not look picture perfect, but they're going to be ready for kids to come, so we're just excited to see these updates. And it even looks different than it does today in these pictures. Once again, just a couple pictures of downstairs. You can kind of see the work that they're doing. They really tore down all the walls, really made sure everything was cleaned out, which was, I know, really important to our community. So you can kind of see that work there. And then same, we've had a special, Elsa has been doing some videos as well with our project superintendent, just to kind of showcase some of our changes. I'll just let Sue add anything else she wants to.
Just that today I did take a quick walk through, so there are even more updates in addition to what we have up here. It's really getting exciting to see the cubbies that are being installed. The flooring was being installed today, and again, the paint is in. It's all coming together. And so I just said, when's the downstairs going to look like the upstairs? By the end of the week. So we're very hopeful, and we know that they're working hard to do the best they can to get everything prepared for the kids. So thank you.
Good evening again, everyone. If you're just tuning in online, I'm Nick Weber, the principal at Prairie View. I'd also like to echo what Mr. Vogler said and just say thank you. We are so fortunate, so blessed to be working in our schools and have your support inside the building and outside of the building, as you're going to see from our Prairie View pictures. Last time I was with you talking about the playgrounds, I said thank you for caring, thank you for the attention to play and the importance, especially developmentally, that playgrounds can offer. And I really mean that. Our staff mean that. It's just exceptional to see what's happening outside of our building right now. I'm going to let the pictures kind of speak for themselves, but you're going to see things like accessibility improved, not just surface, but equipment that's dedicated to be accessible for all. You're going to see sales up front, which our health office and our nurse are just so thrilled, and I'll give them or I'll, on their behalf, say thank you for that. You will see, and you can kind of see that green, what I would call merry-go-round. Those of us who played on playgrounds 30, 40 years ago had different types of merry-go-rounds. Our supervising staff is not as thrilled to see those, but I can guarantee we are going to persevere. We're going to play safely, have a good time. And we will make sure we review those playground expectations on merry-go-rounds. So here's a aerial picture of the front of the school. Like Nina mentioned, we just had registration, and I walked out just to see what students' responses were being. It was like looking at someone just watching the U.S. soccer team win gold. They are so ready to go. They're so pumped about the new structures. I heard from families in the neighborhood just south of school that they're just itching to be able to let their kids go play. It's pretty awesome. And the community famous Gaga ball pits are upgraded with a level playing surface. So lots of young athletes are going to be enjoying that. Thank you.
Well, Nick said so many important things about playgrounds, and we have been fortunate to have some of those same features going in over the summer at Sand Lake. It has been a fascinating process to watch some of that old equipment be torn away and then replaced over the summer with the new equipment. And it is important to note something that's really important to Sand Lake is the purple dinosaur that was on the front playground, and that has been preserved. It lived in my office for a little while, and now we've got it tucked away safely. So that purple dinosaur holds a lot of memories of Sand Lake. Early this summer, we had some construction on both the front and the back playground. So this is showing mainly our back playground here with the addition of that in the bottom right corner, a giant new climber, which we're super excited about. Here's some more construction pictures here of in-process work at our back playground. Really nice new slides and different climbing equipment. Nick highlighted the accessibility, so you can see even on the equipment, we have that option with ramps now, which is going to be really nice for many of our students. Some beautiful aerial shots that are more where we're at right now with construction. So you can see in the upper left corner of the biggest picture is our new Gaga ball pit, and then just a really nicely spaced out playground. So there'll be lots of different places to run and play, and then that big structure in the middle will be a meeting area for many of our students. There's a better look at our Gaga ball pits, and then we were able to preserve some equipment that was really still in great shape. And here's our new addition in the front playground. One of the big highlights here is the addition of some basketball hoops, which are kindergarten, first, and sometimes second graders didn't have access to in the past that they now do. So they'll be super excited about that. And there's tons of things within the playground to climb and hang from as well. And then the other big additions are an increased swing bank. So we added a couple swings on each playground. We have some really nice sandboxes that are coming together now, and the sunbrellas are going to be a really nice addition in our front playground, which can certainly be warm in August, September, and then as we hit late spring. So better view at our basketball hoops. And we'll pass it over to Evergreen. And thank you all, and thank you to those that are working on our playgrounds.
All right, a lot of our work at Evergreen is just starting, and being new, I'm kind of glad that I get to be in the building for a little bit of a year with the students and the staff and get to know them before I have to do some rearranging of rooms and room numbers and all that fun stuff to come. But with that said, this is our current back view of our school. To date, they have removed the fence by the freezer and the dumpster, and they relocated it. They will be putting in some new pavement soon to come. Just another picture of our old versus our new transformer. Just recently, and until August 23rd, we are also getting an update in our elevator right now, because that is still updating and it won't be done quite yet for open house. We have communicated out to our families that to make another arrangement if they need access to the school, being that our elevator will be out of power right now. And soon, our playground will be disappearing. This is the back playground, and we will remove all of that equipment, and we will be putting up fences, and our trailer and our staging area will go there. And we've worked with Nexus to make sure, too, being that we have access to before and after school for the YMC, to make sure that there's gates so parents can still get up there to drop off or pick up their child as well. And that is it. I want to also compliment and thank everybody who has been working hard on this project and working with me and all of us here, as well as just the time and the dedication and the commitment to Holmen. So thank you very much.
I just want to say that the one reason my daughter is sad to go to middle school is because she doesn't get to play on the new Sand Lake playground equipment. I hear about it all the time.
She's welcome back.
Why did it have to happen this year? All right, moving on to item 8.3. Executive Director of Student Services, Jill Mason. What?
8.2. 8.2.
Oh, I am really sorry. Moving on to item 8.2. I might have did this to Kim once before. Okay, Holmen High School Principal Wayne Sackett and Executive Director of Instructional Services Kim Edwards will present information on the Wisconsin pathways to first-year students and freshman admission. This item is for report only.
Well, good evening, everyone. It's nice to be up here again. I'm going to do the lion's share of the speaking tonight. Kim's had a little work done at the dentist.
I'm like, okay.
So, but this has been a very much a collaborative effort. So I'm going to speak to you tonight to inform you as a board and our community as a whole about some of the work that's been going on for the past several months about our Holmen High School graduates and their pathway to the University of Wisconsin school system. And a lot of times that's, their freshman year, but sometimes they maybe work for a year, take a gap year, and then go to school. So I say first-year student because of what their choice may be. First, let me start out by thanking Joni Whitwer. She has done a tremendous amount of work, phone calls, emails, coordinating with the UW system, with our Infinite Campus system. I can't even tell you how many emails and phone calls have gone back and forth. Also like to thank our student services counselors for their work over the summer and double checking all the information on our students so we can get some accurate information sent off to the University of Wisconsin system. So I'm going to talk to you tonight about, three different admission systems into the University of Wisconsin school system. The first one is just the traditional admission. Okay, that's where students, when they graduate, apply to a university or universities of their choice, and they would either meet or not meet those criteria based on whatever those university admission officers select. Nothing necessarily new there, just wanted to express that as a pathway. The newest pathway is called direct admit, and that's what I'm going to speak primarily about, but I'll show some of the nuances between those. Direct admit is new this year, and school districts around the state had to opt in to this admission system. So not all school districts in the state of Wisconsin have opted in, but the vast majority have. Also, our students and families had to choose to be part of this as well. And it's limited, this system's limited to in-state Wisconsin students and families only at this time. So, I don't know if you saw all the information, but it's an early admission to the university. There's no application required, and 10 of our 13 universities are part of this program, and I'll give you a little bit more of that later. The last way in, so we got the traditional admission, we got the direct admit. The last way is through the Wisconsin Guarantee, and sometimes that can be a little confusing. So there's two aspects to the Wisconsin Guarantee. Our top 10% students are guaranteed admission into the UW-Wisconsin universities, except Madison. Our top 5% students in their graduating class based on their GPA are guaranteed admission into all UW system schools, including Madison. Now, they still have to apply, to whichever school they want to, but they are guaranteed to get in. So those are the three ways to get admitted into a school. So a little bit of a breakdown so you can get a little visual. The traditional admission, they can apply to whoever our students want to, whatever university our students want to go to. Our direct admit, as I said earlier, 10 of our 13 UW system schools are allowing all students to come based on their criteria, except the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire, the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, and the University of Madison are currently not part of the direct admit system. And then, as I shared earlier, the Wisconsin Guarantee, that's all UW schools based on where you would fall under. If you were top 10%, that would be all schools except Madison. If you're in the top 5%, that's all schools. Keep wanting to hit that. Eligibility criteria, just again, the traditional admission criteria, whatever those schools allow for their holistic review, whatever materials need to be submitted, whether that's a letter of recommendation, whether that's ACT scores, their GPA, the admission officers make those decisions. Direct admit, they still use those criteria, but all of our students are directly admitted to the University of Wisconsin based on their tiers, based on their criteria. And then the Wisconsin Guarantee, we've been over that a couple of times, I think. The admission decisions, the traditional route, usually students find out about August 1st. Depending on the university, they start sending out communication throughout their senior year. Direct admit, our students and families have gotten information this last week. There's a little bit of a hiccup in there, but they got an email about which universities they have been directly admitted to based on the criteria. And then the Wisconsin Guarantee, again, anytime through August 1st, throughout their senior year, because they do need to apply to the school they want to go to. The requirements specifically, if there are fees associated, they have to pay those fees. So the traditional admission, they have to pay that application fee or any fees that might be associated with that. Direct admit, no application, no fee whatsoever. And then the Wisconsin Guarantee, whatever fees may apply there as well. What does this mean for our students? Well, they had some choices to make, or they can look at their different options based on the information they get from either their traditional route, direct admit route, or the Wisconsin Guarantee route. One of the things wanted to talk about with this is this does not include, just so there's no confusion, any of our private schools in the Wisconsin system or any of our technical universities such as Western or our other colleges around the state. Lastly, I want to encourage our families that may be listening tonight to explore all the options. These are some big decisions, important decisions. Certainly your career path plays a big role in your choice of where you want to go to school. So explore those options, and I would encourage all of our students and families reach out to our counselors to help guide them through that process, because we want to help and support them to achieve whatever it is that they want to do with their life and help them find the best path for them. So that's just a little bit of the different parts. We've been communicating with families. Several different letters have gone out to our families from us. If families have a need for more information, they could go to Direct Admit Wisconsin. They could go to the Wisconsin Guarantee, just do a search on the internet to find some information. Also, you could go to the School District of Holmen website, select Holmen High School with the schools, and then on there, under the parent tab, we have a Wisconsin Direct Admit tab with information for our letters, the letters that we have sent out, and there's all kinds of links and resources in there as well. Any questions?
Questions?
With the direct admit, what are the things they're using in their tiers besides like a GPA and coursework?
That's what they're using, GPA coursework based on what are the criteria for each university to be accepted. One of the things as we are understanding it is math. So algebra, geometry, algebra 2 is one of the big pieces to that puzzle for our students.
But no test scores.
No ACT scores, things like that.
Wow.
SAT scores.
Is there like a a data feed that's letting these universities know what our students are doing, or?
Yeah, Joni had to do a lot of work. We also had to, thank you for asking that question. We had to adapt our 4.33 grade point average to a 4.0 scale, which a lot of our students need to do when they apply for scholarships and different things like that anyway. So we had to do that and then help get that information organized. Did all of our students meet the criteria needed from the UW-Wisconsin system? Joni was a huge help in communicating all that information, and then the schools made their communication to families. So students, I believe students got an email and our parents got an email.
We also checked all our course codes to make sure
Yep.
they were in alignment with how the schools were looking for them as well. So they knew what an algebra class was, a pre-calc class, calc, for those math classes they were digging into.
This may be like really pie in the sky future thinking, but as like freshmen, are you communicating with students like, hey, if you want to go to Platteville and with an engineering degree, these are the classes you may want to take?
Well, that's a piece of the puzzle, certainly. Right now, we're focusing on our senior class. This is a brand new program, and we were kind of learning as we were going a little bit, and the UW system was learning as they were going a little bit, and a lot of communication back and forth. So we'll start communicating with this year's juniors once we kind of have, okay, take a breath, we got things right. Now it's what's the next step in communicating with our families?
One more question, sorry. Do you think that Eau Claire and UWL will come on board eventually, or?
Well, I know right now there's a year-to-year evaluation of do school districts want to change their mind and either get involved or maybe pull out from the direct admit, and same as universities. I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't tell you what Eau Claire and La Crosse and Madison will do. But there's a year-to-year evaluation process to get in and or out.
I have a question. I was just perusing the website to try and find where it was, and I noticed that the direct admit, the first communication that went out, the version in Hmong is actually not hyperlinked here. I don't know. That might just be a random clerical error, but just wanted to bring to your attention.
Thank you. We'll make
Sorry
sure
about
that gets taken care of because we do want to make sure all of our families have access. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item 8.3. Executive Director of Student Services Jill Mason will present the staffing update regarding educational assistance. This item will appear on tonight's consent agenda.
Okay, so typically we come to you a little bit earlier with some staffing changes. We really tried this year, we try every year, but we really want to make sure we're looking at attrition and other things before we have to come to you as a board to hire. In this particular situation, we tried really hard to look at some different options and we did not have any. So we are asking for a 3.5-hour educational assistant to work with one of our students who has some pretty significant health needs in our Project Bridge program. And so that's the first one. And then the second one, we have a couple of students who need specialized transportation. And in order to have a safe and healthy ride to school, we need an educational assistant or a transportation assistant to be on the van with them in order for the van driver and the student to be safe. So that's why we're requesting that and consent tonight, only because we need to hire these positions so that we can get them in place for the kids to be starting.
So just out of curiosity, I'm assuming these two positions aren't linked at all, but is there ever a possibility of hiring one EA that's both transportation and working in the building with the student?
Sometimes we can try that. Usually it doesn't work because we need them at relatively the same times. This particular one might potentially work. They're two different pay rates too, so that sometimes gets confusing, but this one could potentially work.
Okay.
Because the times would allow for that.
Okay. Any other questions? No. Okay, that's it. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right, moving on to the consent agenda. For the consent agenda, the board has been furnished with background materials on each item or has discussed it at a previous meeting. These will be acted upon with one vote without discussion. Would any board member like to pull an item out of the consent agenda to be discussed and/or voted on separately? I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as provided.
So moved.
Motion by Maggie,
I'll second.
second by Khadijah. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. All right, moving on to the board debrief. I will call upon board members and ask you to present any comments or committee reports you have. So tonight, we'll start with Kevin.
Hello, everybody. I would just like to congratulate once again our Friends of Education and also Travis for the Awards of Merit. And then also, I hope that students had a great summer, and I hope they're excited, at least try to be, for the new school year. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Khadijah.
Yeah, I remember the Friends of Education meeting from last year, and I remember it being really fun, and this one was just as awesome. So thank you to all of those folks. It really, reminds you that it shows a strong sense of community when people are willing to show up and engage with the schools and with the students, even when it's not necessarily their student. And that's always been a really important part of living in this community for me. So I'm glad that we got to celebrate that. The construction looks really daunting, but also very cool. So honestly, big props to the principals of all the buildings who are keeping track of all of that for all of our folks who are working out there. There's some really cool stuff going on. And yeah, welcome back to school here very soon. We have some time, I'm sorry. But maybe we're buying school supplies. So have fun with that. That was always my favorite part.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
No, as Dr. Mueller mentioned, this is always one of the best nights of the school board is the Friends of Education. So congratulations and thank you to those families that won tonight. The district is a better place because of you. And then to Mr. Udell, he's done a great job of telling the story of our district for several years now, and we're very, very happy and glad to have him. So congratulations and thank you.
All right, thanks. Lindsay.
Yeah, I agree with that. Congrats, Travis. You do amazing work and keep everybody updated what's going on everywhere. And I don't know how you do it. You're everywhere all the time. And thanks to all the principals and everybody and teachers and everyone who's working around the construction going on. And just congrats to everybody, not only that was here recognized tonight for the Friends of Education, but all the people that are behind the scenes that are volunteering that weren't here tonight too. So thanks to everybody for all you do for the district.
All right, thank you. Maggie.
I concur with everything that's been said. And other than that, I don't think I have anything to add. So just lots of thank yous.
Okay, Bridget.
Yeah, same thing. Echo all of these great sentiments. And also just wanted to say, we participated in a workshop earlier, and it is just amazing to me all of the hard work that our leadership and administrators and staff put into ensuring that we're always making progress on our dashboard. And all of you are just so appreciated. Thank you.
All right, Barb.
I know it's summer, and typically when somebody reaches out to a school board member, it's about some kind of gripe or complaint. But the last few weeks, I have gotten so many positive comments about the construction that people can see. 3 times, like since Tuesday, I've heard, "Have you seen that playground?" So people are noticing that, and I just think that is so neat. And I think one of you had said, the importance of play. So it's noticed. So thank you for that dedication. But then also, summer school. I've never heard so many positive comments about the programming this year for summer school. Parents coming to me and telling me, my son, my daughter didn't want to go to summer school. The first couple days I had to get them up and make them go. And once they got there, all of that hands-on learning is just amazing. And so I say it all the time. I say the word dedication, but to have these kids genuinely excited to go to summer school, thank you. Thank you for everything you do.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I want to also thank all the Friends of Education and everything they do to support our schools and our district. You're very much appreciated. And also thank you to Travis and congrats on your awards. And I want to recognize just all of the hard work and flexibility that all of our staff that is involved with the construction has had throughout this summer. It's a lot, and once you start thinking about all the moving pieces, it can get overwhelming quickly. And lastly, I want to just say that I observed and in the reunification exercise a week and a half ago, and I cannot speak highly enough of our leadership team and how collaborative they are and how well they work through situations together. We also had Onalaska, West Salem, La Crosse, either observing or participating. And I'll also give a shout out to the Onalaska Police Department, did an amazing job there. And I learned so much from just watching and observing and, asking some questions here or there. But I cannot speak highly enough of everything that this leadership team has done for that exercise. So thank you. And I look forward to more of those, actually. It was really impressive. And that's all I have. So is there any other business that needs to come before the board at this time? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Chris has moved.
Second.
Barb, a second to adjourn this meeting at 7:56 p.m. Motion carried. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.